What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader, and it's that time again. Time to look at recent sales for the Vintage Collection line of Star Wars action figures. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please consider subscribing. As always, thank you to my Patreon supporters. They get my videos 24 hours early access. Patreon.com/actionfiguregrader is where you can go to sign up. Now, let's go ahead and take a look. As you can see by this thumbnail, there were a lot of really interesting sales. We had a Canadian Ahsoka that sold, an unpunched clone Commander Cody that sold for big money. I don't want to spoil too much more, so let's go ahead and dig right in, and we're going to start with a major one. That is the 2011 SDCC exclusive Death Star Revenge of the Jedi set that had everything inside, and it included the box. Just an awesome set with the mouse droid and Salacious Crumb, one of those kind of very desirable holy grail type of items for the Vintage Collection, and that one sold for big money. $2,500 plus $150 shipping. That's the highest price I've seen for this set. It was kind of hovering last year between $1,800 and $2,000, but it blew past that number with this box. A pretty incredible set, and it looked to be in pretty fantastic shape. It's always tough to find this one when it is for sale, which is rarely. When it is for sale, it's usually really dinged up because the box is just so big. But this one was in pretty incredible shape. And congratulations if you happen to be watching this and you bought that. That is a pretty awesome set. A couple of different General Grievuses sold. And this one was a punched example of the U.S. card with the rocket-firing Boba Fett mail-away offer on the front. It looked to be in really fantastic condition. Lots of really good photos from the seller on this one. Maybe just some light edge wear on the back, but give me a break. This one is in really great shape, and it sold for $144.95 for free shipping. And then this one was an unpunched example, same U.S. card back, and this one was listed up in Canada, and it was listed for 225 Canadian dollars, which is 166 U.S. dollars. Even at that list price, that was a really fair offer price for an unpunched General Grievous U.S. card. The best offer that was accepted, I did try to look that up on 130point.com, but that website is down for maintenance. It goes down quite a bit, and I gave it about an hour before I decided to start filming, but unfortunately it's still down. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger on filming right now, but you can probably guess that it sold for around maybe $150, which I think is a great deal for an unpunched example, given that that punched example sold for $145 free shipping. Next up, we've got the big one. This is Clone Commander Cody, and it's an unpunched example. We documented one last year that sold, I don't remember the exact number. I want to say it was around $1,300 US dollars. So obviously the price has come down just a little bit, as prices have come down for many of the Vintage Collection items. But this one was a really beautiful unpunched example, and it sold for $754 free shipping. So it was listed at auction for that starting price, and only one bid on that one. But given what we saw recently with some of the others that have sold, $754 I think was a really great price for an unpunched Clone Commander Cody. Truly hard to find that one. A few different Aura Sings VC73 sold. This one had a little bit of light edge wear at an auction. It sold on February 20th. 8 bids, and the final sales price was $72 plus $10.65 shipping. So let's call that about $83. And then another one that was advertised as Case Fresh. This seller had a number of different examples we're going to go through that were advertised as Case Fresh, and it did look really fresh and clean. Just a little bit of wave to the card, maybe at the bottom, that would probably straighten out in a star case. And that one also sold at auction, this time for $125 plus $4.81 shipping. So about $130 versus about $83. So that's a pretty wide price range, but the condition was definitely better on this Case Fresh example. Next up was an unpunched VC99 Nikto with the Darth Maul offer sticker. U.S. card back. It looked to be in pretty clean condition. Only 2 photos on it, but overall pretty good. It looked like on the bottom of the back of the card near the UPC code, it might have just had a little bit of card bend going on there, but overall very clean. Easily probably an 85 condition, just some light edge wear here and there, but very nice example. And that one sold for a great price, $63 plus $10 shipping, so about $73, which is down from the $90 to $100 range that we've seen lately for the Nikto Skiff Guard. Back to the case fresh examples that were sold at auction. Here's Lumat Unpunched US card back. That one sold for $152.50 plus $481 shipping. That one is a little bit higher than where we've seen this one sell recently. I think the last data point I saw was about $140. So this one went for about $156 or so, $157. And again, it was an unpunched US card back, VC 104. That sold at auction on February 19th. The same seller also had Neon Numb VC 106, another US unpunched card back. That one sold for $125.50 plus $481 shipping. That's kind of right in line. They seem to be hovering right around $110 to $130, just depending on condition. But that one was a very clean example for Neon Numb on the US card back. Next up is VC 113, the Republic Trooper, the Expanded Universe original issue with the character debut sticker on the blister. Very nice example, and lately it's been coming back down in price just given the reissue. We all know that narrative about the reissues causing the original issue to come down, but this is a beautiful example. Really nice US clean card, and that one sold for $96 plus $481 shipping. I thought that was a really great buy, just given that some of the data points I've seen were $110 to $120. A few different Ahsokas sold, and two of them were US cardbacks, and one was the very tough to find unpunched Canadian cardback. But this US cardback only had 2 photos, and I think that's what probably held the price down just a little bit. If they had included some more photos with maybe some side profiles of the blister to see what kind of shape that was in, it probably would have done better at auction. But it sold for $225 plus $10 shipping, so that's the lowest I've seen for the original issue US card unpunched Ahsoka. $235 is a new low in my book for that one. And then here was one from that same case fresh seller, US card unpunched, and that one sold for $320 plus $481 shipping. So that's kind of more in line with kind of recent sales prices. $325 to $350 is about the going rate. And then I had that Canadian unpunched example that was in my what to buy video last week. And I was really surprised this one hasn't sold yet. And as soon as my Patreon supporters saw it, I assumed that one of you all bought it because it did sell immediately once it went live for my Patreon supporters, since they get 24 hours early access. And I don't blame you. This was a really good buy in my opinion. It was listed for $550 Canadian dollars plus another $30 US dollars shipping. So about $437 or so took that one home. And to me, to get the unpunched Canadian card for that price, that is a good buy. I know that seems high relative to the US card back, but as I've talked about in past videos, the Canadian examples were only made about 10% of the US examples. So for every 10 of the US card backs, only about 1 of the Canadians were released or manufactured. And this one again was an unpunched example. Very, very tough to find that one unpunched. So congratulations again to a Patreon supporter. I assume you bought that. Really nice example. Let's dig into some graded items before we finish the video off with some mint and sealed box vehicles. This was that uncirculated Darth Vader Dark Times. I love this card back. It's absolutely gorgeous. This one was sold in a buy it now situation by Disruptor, who's a seller that I know. Uncirculated 9.0, beautiful example, awesome card art on this one, and that one sold for $130 free shipping. Next up was the Obi-Wan Kenobi 3-pack, and I believe this one was an Amazon exclusive. Yeah, Amazon exclusive. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Purge Trooper, and Tika were all sold in this 3-pack. It was an uncirculated 9.0. This has got to be a massive case. And this one sold at auction for $187.50 plus $18 shipping. I thought that was a really great buy. Pretty nice looking Purge Trooper there, along with Obi-Wan and that Jawa. So congratulations whoever bought that. Next up, we've got an uncirculated Dengar. And how rare is this? I've never seen an uncirculated AFA graded original VC01 where it all started, Dengar with the rocket firing prototype FET. And I put it on my watch list as soon as it got listed. I was like, this is not going to last long, I guarantee you. And sure enough, it did sell very quickly. $350 plus $16 or $15 shipping. Again, you can get a really clean example ungraded for about, let's call it $150 to $200. But there are collectors out there that are willing to pay up big money for TVC 1.0 with the uncirculated designation. We documented on the channel the VC44 uncirculated 9.0 Luke Dagobah landing that sold for $700, which is a massive premium. This one, I don't think this premium was too much relative to where ungraded examples sell for. And I just think that's a good buy. I just think you're never going to regret having an uncirculated 9.0 Dengar where it all started. It's kind of a piece of collecting history, and to get one uncirculated from a sealed Hasbro case for $350 plus $15 shipping, to me, that's a pretty good buy. Next up was an uncirculated 9.0 mail-away rocket-firing Fett, and this one sold at auction, and the price was really low. It just shows you how much Boba Fett items have come back down in price versus the highs that they achieved during the height of the Book of Boba Fett on Disney+. I mean, this one was going for almost $400 back in January of last year, and here we are now, and it sold for $205.50 plus $14 shipping for an uncirculated 9.0. That's a really good price in my mind for that rocket-firing Fett. And then the last graded item, I believe, was this one. This is the Phase 1 Clone Trooper multi-pack. It was graded uncirculated 9.0 by AFA. This one sold in an auction, big money, $166 plus $16 shipping. Pretty great box art on that. I mean, as I've said, I don't really have a desire to have that in my collection just because it's kind of a plain box, but to me, if you're into kind of collecting those multi-packs, those Army Builder multi-packs, it's pretty cool to see one because the art is nice on that. I will say that. I really do like the art on that. It's kind of like line art on it. Next up, we've got some vehicles, but to wrap things up, this is the brand new AT-ST with the Chewbacca in hand. This has got the 40th anniversary of the Return of the Jedi logo in the top left corner. It looked really clean and case fresh, and that one sold for $125 plus $36 shipping. Now, this one was in Hong Kong, so you don't know how it's going to arrive in hand in the U.S. if you happen to buy this in the U.S., but that's what the box art looks like. Pretty cool looking box art. Again, it's not something I want in my collection, but you know, I do think that the box art is pretty great and kind of harkens back to that scene where Chewbacca steals the AT-ST driver and then lets Chewbacca know that, hey, I'm on the good guys, don't shoot at me. Pretty cool looking item. Next up was a mint and sealed shipper box Razor Crest, and it had all the unlocks, and there was one ding in the shipper box, as you can see right there on the right hand side. So you don't know how it's going to hold up inside the box and whether the actual box art got messed up or not, but that one sold for $614 free shipping. I mean, that's not much more to me than where these things were selling originally, you know, right after the HasLab. I don't remember what the HasLab number was, $350 or so, maybe $400, and then they jumped up to about $800, and then you get this one where you're rolling the dice a little bit that the box is going to be okay inside. So $614 free shipping took that one home. That's kind of the lowest price I've seen for one in a while. And then finally, we've got Jabba's sail barge, the Katana. And this one was taken out of the shipper box, but it still had the original shipper box. There was one little ding there in the lower right-hand corner there on the side. But pretty awesome to see that one mint and sealed box. And this one sold for $1,750 plus another $128 shipping. So almost $1,900 for Jabba's sail barge, HasLab exclusive. So anyway, some pretty interesting prices, kind of all over the map. The big surprises, obviously, were that Death Star playset, the Unpunched Clone Commander Cody. Those are some big boy prices. But that's all I really had for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.